After producing free courses that have generated millions of dollars and booked thousands of qualified sales calls for our clients through YouTube, we've cracked the code. A high converting free course video isn't some complex, high budget production. It's literally a Google Doc. That's it. The entire strategy is breaking down the A to Z of how to achieve your ideal client's desired end result, taking that, turning it into a comprehensive Google Doc, and then walking them through it on a 60 to 90 minute video. So this guide's gonna break down the exact 8-part framework we use to structure these videos with real examples from some of the most successful free courses on YouTube that we've produced. Now, I know you might be thinking, why would anyone buy my program or service if I just give them all of the information for free? And it's because you're displaying competence. And they're still gonna wanna work with you because they either need someone in their corner to hold their hand, or maybe you're selling a done-for-you service and that's the benefit of working with you. The thing is, inside of the free course, you can still gatekeep small bits of information. For example, if you're making a course on how to scale an agency, you can gatekeep certain bits and pieces, such as your exact outreach script, your project management system, your automations, etc. But you need to be an open book for about 95% of the information that goes into achieving your ICP's desired end result. Enough of that though, let me just hop on my computer and show you guys a couple free courses we've made, and then from there, I'll dive into the framework. By the way, if at any point you want to download the PDF you're seeing on screen right now, just click the second link in the description. So let's get into it. Here's a few examples of free courses we've made for clients. First up, we have the full growth operating course. This is one of our most iconic ones. Working with Eddie, we've made him $1.8 million through organic content, and this free course was a huge driver of that. Literally every single lead who upsold into the high ticket backend said they watched this video or other ones on YouTube. Next, we have the most popular video on Samir's channel. We made this one. Another dropshipping course. We did a clothing brand one. We did one on how to get accepted into Ivy League schools like Harvard, etc. We did one in the marketing agency niche, how to get a tech job. The list goes on and on. This is just a couple. As you can see, the lengths of these videos are on the longer side, but that's what allows us to go so in depth and really display our expertise and actually convert the traffic we get from these videos. We really don't hold anything back except, like I was saying earlier, small bits and pieces if you really want to. But here's the 8-part free course framework. This is the repeatable structure behind every successful free course video we've produced. Just follow it step by step. So first we have the hook, which is usually the first 2 to 5 minutes. It is a bit on the longer end compared to other videos. And your hook has one job: convince the viewer that this 60 to 90 minute video is worth their time. And you do this by establishing massive credibility and promising a clear transformation. So first, you're going to want to relate to their pain. Start by acknowledging their biggest struggle. Next, you're going to establish credibility. So you're going to show them undeniable proof that you can solve their problem: client results, your own results, specific numbers, etc. Next, you're going to promise the transformation. So you're going to tell them exactly what they'll learn and what they'll be able to do and accomplish after watching. And finally, you're going to set expectations. You're going to tell them this is a full in-depth course and that they should take notes. And then from there, you get into the video. So for example, here's Eddie. He starts off by showing testimonials of students making 10 and 20 grand a month. And then he shares his own story of going from broken living with roaches to making 100K a month profit at 19. He clearly states this is a full-length, in-depth growth operating course for free that has the power to completely alter the course of the viewer's life. That's where he's setting the expectations. Next, you're going to introduce the opportunity. So before you get into the how-to part, like actually showing them how to achieve their desired end result, you need to sell them on the opportunity itself and why they should even care about this topic. So just to break down the structure here more in depth, you're going to explain what it is. So you're going to define the industry, the skill, or the opportunity. So for example, GovTech, growth operating, branded dropshipping, whatever it might be. And then you're going to explain why it matters. You're going to talk about maybe the market size, how this is in demand right now, the income potential, the growth rate of the industry. Use hard numbers. And then you're going to go into who this is for. So you're going to define your ideal client profile so the right people know they're in the right place. So for example, if you only sell to existing home service businesses already above 10K a month, you can mention that in the video. You can say this is for existing home service businesses only. So for example, we have Simone who makes videos about how to get a job in tech. So she explains that the government spends over $100 billion with a B on technology, and that the average salary is over 120 grand, and that the industry has a 15% growth rate. She makes it extremely clear that this is a massive, stable, and lucrative opportunity. Then we're going to get into the A to Z roadmap. So this is where you just give them a higher level overview of the entire process. You're showing them the path from where they are now to their desired outcome. So this builds confidence and shows that you have a real system, and also shows them more in depth on what to expect from the video. So think of this as you're giving them an eagle-eye view summary before you actually get into the step-by-step breakdown, which is the next part. First, you're going to break it down, just list the 5 to 7 major steps in your process, and then you're going to visualize it with either some sort of diagram, flowchart, or just a numbered list on your Google Doc to make it easy to follow. So for example, on my own free course on growing a business through YouTube, I break down the system into a few core parts. We have ideation, we have scripting, we have thumbnails, we have SEO. This simple framework provides the structure for the rest of the video. By the way, if you want to see my free course, it's going to be linked in the description, or you can just search up Ayman Arab YouTube free course. Now we get into the step-by-step breakdown, which is by far the longest part of the video. This is the core of your free course. And here you're going to dedicate a section to each step of your roadmap and teach it in detail. So here you're going to explain what it is and you're going to explain the concept. So with each part of the process, you're going to explain what it is, why it matters, how to do it, common mistakes. So for example, if I'm talking about YouTube ideation, I'm going to explain what goes into a strategy and ideas and what really is a video idea, why it's important, because hey, if you're making videos about the wrong topics, the right people aren't going to see it, you're not going to make any money. And then I'm going to talk about how to do it. So first we use A method, we use B method, we use C method, etc. Go super in depth. And then you also talk about common mistakes. Most people copy from other people, most people do this, most people do that, whatever it might be. This is where you say the common mistakes. So for example, with Elise, who runs Ultimate Ivy League, she breaks down the application process into sections like academics and grades, extracurriculars, and essays. In each section, she gives specific advice like how to choose the right AP courses, how to frame your extracurriculars, providing a tactical guide for students. The next thing, this isn't really a step, this is more just throughout the entire free course video. You want to naturally weave in your social proof. So don't save all your testimonials for the end. You want to sprinkle them throughout the video to constantly reinforce your credibility. After you explain a concept, show a screenshot of a client who used that exact concept to get a result. So let's say you're a couple minutes into the video and then you go like, our client Daniel Fazio makes $400,000 a month from YouTube organic. And if you don't believe me, here's a quick clip. So I'm actually going to play the clip right now. Let me roll it.
Probably like $400,000 a month attributed 100% to organic YouTube from me right now. And I post once a week, sometimes two.
Now, ideally for your guys' videos, you shouldn't play a clip, but I just know that that's such a huge claim to make and everybody's throwing random numbers nowadays. So I just wanted to show that. But ideally, you're just showing like text messages, Slack screenshots, or maybe a clip of an interview, but try and do it very chill and like in passing, if that makes sense. And by the way, just to make it super clear, that clip I just showed you, that's Daniel and he's our client. So now we're entering the ending part of the video. So you can start to handle some objections. You can anticipate their biggest fears and doubts. Also, if you have a sales team or you're doing the sales calls yourself, you know what the most common objections are. So you can start talking about those here. Maybe some people are like, I don't have experience with dropshipping. How am I going to make money? Or maybe they're saying, I don't have money for ads and you need an objection handle for that. This won't work for me because whatever it is, you need to just know how to pre-handle these inside of the video script. And then from there, you're going to give them a reality check. This is going to make you more believable and filter out people who are looking for a magic button who you don't want to work with. Trust me. So you're going to say, this isn't easy. You want to acknowledge that there's hard work that goes into launching a dropshipping store, for example. And then you're going to talk about what it takes. You're going to need consistency, focus, long-term thinking. You're going to need $2,000 of starting capital for ads, whatever it might be. But then you're going to talk about why it's worth it. You know, maybe if you're lifestyle flexing, you can do that. I don't personally like doing that. Or you can just talk about your client results, etc. Just make sure to reiterate the massive upside and the transformation that's possible, whether that's through talking about your own transformation or your clients and students. And then from here, you move into the outro CTA. So here, when I say last 2 to 5 minutes, it's because really I'm talking about this whole section here, but basically you're going to give them 3 options. So for the first option, you're going to say, do nothing, treat this like every other YouTube video and just save it in your watch later and do nothing. Option 2 is try to do it yourself. This is the slow to hard path with a high chance of failure because you don't have someone that's constantly telling you like what's working right now in the space. You don't have someone to hold your hand, answer your questions, etc. Or option 3 is to work with me. This is the fast and easy path with a proven system. From there, just follow this with a call to action to book a call, apply, or DM you, whatever you normally use. I recommend a VSL funnel. The last thing I want to say is about the length. Your goal should be to make a 60 to 90 minute video. My own free course is a good example of the structure, but it is a bit on the shorter side. But ideally, you want to provide so much value that the viewer feels like they just got a paid course for free. The more value you provide, the more trust you build, and the more clients you'll get. So next, I highly recommend you watch my YouTube free course where I break down the entire system from ideation to client acquisition. You'll also get a better understanding of how I go about making a free course by watching one of my free courses. It's by far the most comprehensive free training on YouTube growth I've ever created. So if you want to see it, just click the link on screen, or it's also going to be linked in the description. Or if you want to work with me and my team directly so we can do this for you on a done for you basis, you can click the first link in the description. You need to be above 20 grand a month and have a high ticket offer. And last thing I promise, if you want to download this PDF you're seeing on screen right now, just click the second link in the description. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.